Hello and welcome to Oweleketv News. I am Confidence Oko. Thank you for joining us. And now the news headlines. President Muhammadu Buhari says heavy borrowing is a tool to fight poverty. FCT Police Command refutes bomb explosion in Abuja. President Buhari flags of Wadi-B oil drilling in Borno State. And in sports, Gombe United's performance was impeded by a lack of funding, says the coach. Welcome back, and now the news in details. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace, Senator Hadi Sirika, on Monday inaugurated the expansion of the first phase of the General Aviation Terminal, which cost 2.2 billion naira. The project, which was executed by Globesly Pro Project Limited, has increased the capacity of the terminal from 254 to 1,024 passengers. During the inauguration, Sirika emphasized that the project was initiated to address the long-standing challenge of limited capacity at the terminal. He claimed that after carefully considering the situation, the government decided to expand the terminal as a temporary solution, adding that the ministry intended to construct a brand new, significantly larger domestic terminal as soon as possible. The first part of the project, which started early last year, was timely completed by the contractor to the minister's satisfaction. He expressed optimism that the facility will enhance passenger convenience at the terminal and help the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria generate more income. He said that in addressing the capacity issues the terminal was facing, the opening of the expanded General Aviation Terminal represented a key turning point. He asserts that the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace is dedicated to boosting the entire passenger experience and strengthening infrastructure as the aviation industry develops for the benefit of all stakeholders. New protocol lounges, airline offices, VIP lounges, and contemporary amenities are all featured in the extended terminal with the goal of improving passenger security, comfort, and safety. The addition includes an aviation small clinic, fire alarms, and central air conditioning. The Nigeria Air Force has sent no less than 26 men to Turkey on Tuesday for training in the operation and maintenance of T-129 ATAC helicopters. 6 T-129 helicopters made by the Turkish aerospace industry were purchased by the Nigerian government last year for use in the nation's counter-terrorism operations. The T-129 ATAC is an all-weather twin-engine tandem-seat assault helicopter. The service spokesperson, Air Commodore Ayodele Famuyiwa, stated that the 26 personnel were made up of pilots and maintenance workers. According to reports, the aircraft was one of several anticipated to be delivered to NAF by the end of the first quarter of 2023. Famuyiwa responded that the manufacture of airplanes take time and that the earthquake in Turkey also had an impact when asked about the delay. 2 of the platforms were completed, he continued, and the staff would train on them. President Muhammadu Buhari has urged the Senate to authorize the issuing of promissory notes in the amount of 16 billion naira as a return to the Borno state government. At the plenary, Senate President Ahmed Lawan read Buhari's letter of request. The return, according to the president, was intended to cover costs associated with the federal roads that the government of Borno State has decided to build. Buhari promised that whatever information needed by the National Assembly to examine this proposal would be provided by the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola. Abiodun Bayowu, the Executive Director of Global Rights, has expressed regret at the increase in incidents involving the murder of security personnel and civilians and urged the government to take action. Speaking to attendees at the Mass Atrocities Summit in Abuja on Tuesday under the theme Remembering to Prevent, Enhancing Accountability for Mass Atrocities Through Effective Documentation, Bayewu claimed that over 20,000 Nigerians were killed last year and that there is no sign of an end in sight unless the federal government takes additional precautions to protect the lives and property of Nigerians. Also speaking, Anthony Ojukwu, SAN Executive Secretary, National Human Rights Commission, who was represented by Benedict Okeago, Director, Monitoring Department of NHRC, said this year's election was extremely violent, with at least 137 deaths and more than 60 kidnappings reported between December 2022 and March. We'll now be going on a short break. Please stay with us. Welcome back from the break. The Wadi-B Potential Chad Basin, Tuba Community, Jere Local Government Area, and Borno State Oil Drilling Campaign has been launched by President Muhammadu Buhari. He asserted that the flag-off had officially indicated the start of physical activities for the Chad Basin region's crude oil and gas exploration. He claimed to be aware of the fact that the Chad Basin had been the site of crude oil and gas exploration activity since 1976 and that the Wadi-1 well had yielded some commercial gas in 1985. Buhari said he was looking forward to a successful drilling campaign in the Chad Basin through the collaborative efforts of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, host communities, states, and other partners. The president stated that as a result of the Chad Basin exploration campaign's expected success, the nation's crude oil and gas reserves and production will likely increase, thereby boosting national energy security and ensuring more wealth for Nigerians. In a joint statement, Oluwoye, a Nigerian-American professor of transportation and environmental health, and Olaleye, a transportation planner in the United States, claimed that Nigeria's progress was still hampered by a lack of proper data. The statement provided to Punch praised the Lagos state government for receiving the first batch of electric vehicles intended for use in public transit. It also discussed how using electric vehicles could help reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Oluwoye and Olaleye contended that the Lagos administration, led by Governor Jide Sanwo-Olu, has a responsibility to research the city's transportation patterns, trends, and customs in order to collect information on trip generation and distribution. The governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has promised inhabitants of the state continuous economic growth and infrastructure improvements. Sanwo-Olu provided this guarantee at the Lagos House Alausa Ikeji signing of the 1 trillion naira debt and hybrid issuance, which included the 19.815 million naira 7-year 14.67% fixed return forward Ijara lease, Sukuk due 2030, and the 115 billion 10-year 15.25% series on bond issuance in 2023. In accordance with the state's themes agenda, the governor claims the bond's revenues would be utilized to finance important projects that will upgrade the state's infrastructure and promote economic growth. The governor continued by saying the issuances will also enable them to encourage economic growth, generate jobs, and enhance everyone's quality of life. The FCT Police Command has refuted information that surfaced late Tuesday night regarding an alleged bomb explosion at Eagle Square, the location of the May 29 presidential inauguration. In an announcement made in Abuja, Police Public Relations Officer SP Josephine Ade claimed that around 9 p.m., a coaster bus heading in the direction of Nyanya axis caught fire close to Eagle Square. Members of the public are therefore enjoined to disregard contrary and misleading narratives emanating from malicious and misguided quarters, she said, even as the command continues to intensify the security of the territory in this transitional period and beyond. As Buhari's term ends on May 29, Nigeria's entire debt stock is getting close to 80 trillion naira. On Tuesday, President Muhammadu Buhari defended the high borrowing levels under his administration, calling them a deliberate choice to combat poverty and spur economic growth for Nigerians. His senior special assistant on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, made this disclosure. He emphasized that even though he understood Nigerians' worries, the debts are related to projects that were carried out under very open conditions and are readily available to anyone. According to the president, the wealth of other countries might be linked to their infrastructure projects, which were made possible by decades-long debt repayment. Up next is international news after the break. Welcome back from the break. In the UK, Netflix has set borrowing restrictions for passwords. In an effort to diversify its revenue sources amid worries about market saturation, the streaming service has implemented password borrowing restrictions and a new ad-supported alternative. The business announced on Tuesday that it was emailing clients in 103 nations and territories, including the UK, France, Germany, the US, Australia, Singapore, Mexico, and Brazil, regarding account sharing. The cost is £4.99 per month in the UK. Members can also transfer a user's profile, allowing them to maintain their recommendations and viewing history. And in sports, Gombe United's coach Zubaru Aliyu claims that his team's performance during the regular season of the condensed 2022 to 2023 Nigeria Professional Football League was impeded by a lack of funding. This was said by Aliyu following Gombe's recent 1-0 loss to Aqua United on the final day of the regular season at the Pantami Stadium in Gombe State. I've never said this before, but this crew lacks motivation because they don't receive any bonuses, said Aliyu. By motivation, I mean incentives and financial motivation, he continued. As a third-year member of this team, I can brag that we only received 3 incentives. Can such motivation be applied to a team? He's urging the government to support the team financially, which is most important. Without finance, no football, he says. And just before we go, we'll be joining Hadiza Galadima for entertainment tidbits.
Thank you, Confidence, and welcome to Entertainment Tidbits. I am Hadiza Galadima. The attorney of Seun Kuti Adeyinka Olumide Fushika has confirmed the State Criminal Investigation Department, Panti Lagos, on Tuesday night released Afrobeat singer Seun Kuti after meeting his bail terms. His release is following the expiration of the extension of his remand in police custody for the advice of the Lagos State Directorate of Public Prosecutions and also to enable the Nigerian police to conclude investigations into the matter of assaulting a police officer. Nigerian musician and international sensation Tems has made history as she sets a new record of the longest-running #1 song, "Free My Mind," on the Billboard R&B and hip-hop airplay by a female artist. Tems tops the previous record set by megastars Beyoncé and Rihanna. As one of the biggest and the mainstream artists in the UK and US, Tems' music is experiencing a massive patronage. That's it on Entertainment Tidbits. I am Hadiza Galadima. Over to you, Confidence.
Thank you so much, Hadiza. And that's it on the news on Oweleketv today. But before we go, here is a recap of the headlines. President Muhammadu Buhari says heavy borrowing is a tool to fight poverty. FCT Police Command refutes bomb explosion in Abuja. President Buhari flags of Wadi-B oil drilling in Borno State. And in sports, Gombe United's performance was impeded by a lack of funding, says the coach. Please subscribe and follow our YouTube channel if you haven't, and you can also follow us on our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Oweleketv. And you can also follow our website at oweleke.tv. Till I come your way next time with more interesting news, I am Confidence Oko, and thank you for watching.